ഗുജറാത്ത് വംശഹത്യ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മളെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം ഒരു പാഠമായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷേ അതേസമയം തന്നെ ഫാസിസ്റ്റുകളെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഹിന്ദുത്വത്തെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം അവർക്കും ഒരു പാഠമായിരുന്നു. കാരണം ഒരു ബെഡ്ഷീറ്റ് എങ്ങനെ ഒഴിവാക്കി അധികാരത്തിൽ വരാം എന്ന് അവർ 2014 തെളിയിച്ചു. ഇനി വരുന്ന 2024 അതിനുള്ള ഒരു ശ്രമമാണ്. ഈ അഡാപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ഇന്ത്യൻ വസ്ത്രത്തിന്റെ ഈ കഴിവ് അതിനെ പ്രതിരോധിക്കുന്നതിൽ ഇന്ത്യയിലെ ഇടതുപക്ഷമായാലും ആർക്കും കഴിയാത്തത്.
Yes, that takes us to 100 years of work among the common people. You know, right from the establishment of the Hindu Mahasabha, 1914, right from that moment, the majoritarian politics had begun to work in India, which we didn't know or we didn't notice because it was not quite noticeable as it is perhaps today. They had started Saraswati Vidyalayas, that was one of the beginnings, and then they had their RSS shakhas across the country. Almost in every village they had, even if small, some kind of a shakha. And these shakhas were major brainwashing centers where they were turned entirely communal. Their thoughts were all turned against the Muslims particularly, and also Christians and Parsis and other minorities, because somehow we think that the Muslims are the victims, but that's not true. I mean, if you know Kandhamal, I have seen activists who were in Kandhamal and how many churches were destroyed, and if you know that more than 200 churches were destroyed in Manipur just now, you know that it is not only against Muslims, actually it is against the majority, even though perhaps the Christian church has not realized it as you can find it in Kerala. But then they have been against minorities in general, including sexual minorities, various kinds of minorities. And also there is a kind of patriarchy which is very much an important element of any fascist power. So patriarchy believes always in a kind of masculine power. That is why they keep on just speaking about the width of the chest and similar things. An assertion of male strength, which also is ultimately against women's independence. Even though they might say that India has a great tradition of respecting women and all that, but we know it's not true. And all our rhetoric about equality in ancient India or the pre-Mughal period, which was a golden period for all of us. So there are a lot of myths, and these people in the shakhas and in these vidyalayas have been fed for decades with those myths, which give a kind of which create an imaginary India which they say existed before the Mughals came, or and now of course later the British came and all that. So which is an India which never existed. Ambedkar was absolutely right when he said in a country where there is a caste system, there can never be a complete and full democracy. I believe it is entirely true. Because caste system is the ultimate hierarchy in the worst sense, and as long as such a system exists, how can people be equal? As long as some people are treated badly and some people think that they are superior just because they know the Vedas or they know the rituals and all that. So in such a system you can never imagine a kind of complete democracy. So and these people have been making use of all these possible rifts in Indian society, which existed even much before the Mughals and all that. The rulers, of course, sometimes made use of them like the British did, but even though I would not say Mughals did that, because they tried actually to bring people together. If you really look at Akbar's court or something, it was a kind of ideal place where the Hindu Pandits and the Muslim scholars and the scholars for other religions came, and they had great debates and arguments. The great epics and Indian Vedas and even Indian medicine, books of Indian medicine were translated into Persian and Arabic, and some of their works were translated. So it was a time of exchange and argument, and Hindus Hindus occupied the most important positions. Look at the commanders, look at the major merchants who got a lot of privileges from the Mughal court. Look at the writers and the artists of that period. So they have created a completely wrong image, almost a reverse, a negative image of the Muslim period, especially the Mughal period, before which they say a golden India existed, which, as I said, never did, because as I said, there was this caste system which was very strongly entrenched in society, and as long as it was there, it was not possible for a good part of our population to come out of it and to speak out or to be part of democracy, the kind of democracy that we dream of.